Hey guys, welcome to this upload for you guys here on Wrestling Fan Open Mic Night. If you're new around here, hit that subscribe button. I upload videos as and when. I'm just a casual video creator here on YouTube, talk about professional wrestling, and it's actually night time. Well, going into the early mornings. This is the only time I've technically had time to sit down to talk to you guys at home about professional wrestling. So, bear with me. I just swallowed a fly not that long ago and I can't shift it. So I do apologise if I do sound a bit congested in the throat. And the reason why this is the first time since my last upload I've actually done for you guys is quite honestly, long story short, a couple of weeks ago I had a job interview. Then last week, or the week prior, which I've mentioned in a previous video, that I was waiting for a phone call, got the phone call, got the job, and basically all last week I was doing training after training after training after training, and now we're open to the public, and I'm blown away with this job. I'm loving every minute of it, and being a supervisor for this great bunch of team that I've got working with me, as well as the team supervisors, the managers that are in place, a lovely couple. It's a good vibe to have that once again. I've not had that for a few years, I would say. Everyone's literally connected pretty way forward on like day one, and I was just blown away with everyone's personalities, charisma, everything. I see a lot of potential in a lot of them. I think the whole team, including the management, I think there's about 25 of us. I could be mistaken. So unbelievable, guys, unbelievable, and it makes me feel respected as well. Obviously, being a supervisor in that lot as well. I love showing people as my skills that I've learned over the years to pass on to this generation of bartenders, which is a bonus. I love every minute of it so far. Touch wood, it continues that way, and I have had to jeopardize watching professional wrestling because of it, and obviously this doesn't pay the bills watching wrestling, but I've been trying to keep tabs on the products that's been going off, and quite honestly, I just want to say to you guys, as a wrestling fan, I cannot wait for next week when I go to Manchester with my good old friend Paddy. When we go to Dynamite and Collision in Manchester, I'm looking forward to bringing the vlog. At least one thing, all I can say is this: I didn't realise when we sorted out tickets to go that it was Mad Friday. The day after I come back, and I get back into Nottingham. I think it's before 8 o'clock, if weather permitting. If you're in the UK, you know how the train system works. So, yeah, the vlog I hope to put out before I go to work on the Friday. At least one thing with the Friday. If I remember rightly, I'm on in the evening shift, which is a bonus in itself. I think I'm on in the evening for Mad Friday. I think I am. I'm on the day shift. I haven't seen my rotor properly. A quick glance at it. A blonde moment when I already sorted those days off. They were fine about it, and they put it on the rotor as holiday. I didn't realise, if you know what I mean. I didn't realise because of because how quick this year's going. Obviously, with Christmas in a few weeks' time, but it's going to be good to go hang out with Paddy. Shame TNS Attitude ain't coming because obviously personal commitments. I can totally understand, and that he's not coming, and he's no longer coming because obviously personal commitments as well and other things that I do not want to disclose on YouTube. It's a personal matter, which I totally understand. So it's only just two of us. But the headache not a headache, but we changed hotels to the other side of Manchester because it works out cheaper for both of us. I think our hotel now is pretty much paid. It's paid for. Trains paid for. So the trains cost me £28 return. The hotel that's paid for 2 nights, £95. And so split that between two of us. We paid that off tonight, which was a bonus. And yeah, so look, hopefully you guys look out for that vlog. I'm not going to be editing the music into it, probably because I won't have time to. But there will be an intro as always with my vlogs. So all I can say to you guys is that I hope when I get back home, I can edit my vlog straight away, upload it to YouTube before I go to work on the Friday. Look out for that on my vlog channel, please do. You know, but all I can say is, hope you guys have a lovely Christmas and all that lot. I'm not going just yet, but end of the day, all I can say is to you guys is when I've literally seen certain things, what's been going off in the wrestling world, that really caught my eye. Obviously, I talked about this before. So now it's been confirmed John Cena versus Gunther for his last match. A lot of fans are complaining, saying that's how you treat him. Apparently, he's rumored and speculated starting the card. You can't literally end his career at the end of the show, main event of the show. You know, there's so much uproar about that, but yet they won't listen because WWE, the main event, is so corporate, more than they ever have been. TKO and all that lot. They don't listen. They just think that what's going to come through that door as soon as they put a wrestling event on. They think it's going to sell regardless. The only way they will not, when they start listening to you, you know, it's the time when they woke up Vince, when tickets sort of declining and so on, you know, and I'm going to point this out. That's the only way they're ever going to listen to you. More than when people complain about it on social media, right? The one thing I don't get about wrestling in social media, even though I've been involved since 2010, that I've never got the idea behind it, is where these big, massive influencers, they get a load of freebies, but the literally given to them by the WWE. You know, when they brag about, a £25,000 ticket, they were given for free. You know, VIP experience and all that lot. But not the diehard people that literally have spent heaps on tickets, merchandise, and so on. You know, they don't do that anymore. You know, I'm not jealous of these people, but what about the people that do respect your product? Or, in fact, the people that have been honest with you? I guess you don't like the people that have been honest with you. You know, I have friends that have invested a lot of money into WrestleMania tickets and hotels and so on like that over the years, and you don't get anything back. As creators, we do not ask for anything back. We're just here to talk about our views of professional wrestling, but we don't get anything back. You know, but then when these big time people, you know, get noticed for what they're not even technically talking about wrestling or vlogging about wrestling, but they get perks. You know, you want to use them as marketing tools. What about the people I'm not saying like myself, but I'm not a big YouTuber. I know I'm not. I never have wanted to be a big YouTuber. I set up this to basically talk about professional wrestling or vlog about professional wrestling. And yet, it baffles me than when it happens, when I see these big YouTubers get stuff they don't even really want. They just do it for the exposure. You know, they make out the wrestling fans when they're not. You can tell which ones are forced and which ones are not forced. That's why there's a lot of big YouTubers claiming that WWE's not doing what they're doing, because they're, how to put it, it's hard to say. But that's the only time when WWE would listen. But when you look at the likes of WWE putting this for a guy that is retiring, when people say, "Oh, they should be passing the torch," he's already passed the torch to Cody. He's already passed the torch to Roman Reigns. How many torches does he need to pass? You could have easily done something big, something interesting. You could have done something different. I know it sounds daft, but you could have easily had the top star of, not just as a squash match, but you could have had like the next. I know they don't have a working relationship. You could have had the next, just say the top star from OVW versus John Cena. That next one to go down the line. You could have had the top star of NXT. At the moment, you could have had him facing John Cena. You could have had, like I've said already in previous videos, I don't know if it's here on TikTok, that I felt like you could have had AJ Styles versus John Cena for the last match. That would be memorable, because still to this day, still people still talk about John Cena versus AJ Styles. And it's mad to think that you you could have literally done something different. Gunther does not need this accolade. He's already got the accolade of the longest reigning IC champion of this generation. He doesn't need it. That's what I don't get with WWE's mentality at the moment. I'm not blaming Triple H, even though he's head of creation. I blame TKO for this. People have their right to say. Even though I don't watch the product, they still have a right to say. It shockens me that it's gone this way. And then when I look at AEW, even though I've not kept tabs on the product, eyes on the product for the past couple of weeks, because of due to work commitments, all I can say is this: they made an interesting, bold move, right? For the first ever AEW Women's Tag Team Champions being Babes of Wrath. The reason why I say it's bold and brash, it was different. No one saw it coming. Well, some may have, but they would think people were moaning. But the catch is, but the marketing ploy for this was, even though if people moaned about it, they are promoting it, right? Because they were thinking, oh, Anna Jay and Ty Mello was going to be the first ones. Nope, that didn't happen. Sisters of Sin, they thought that was going to happen. Okay, here we go, stereotypical. Okay, then Megan Bain and Maria Shafir, they thought they were going to be them because the way they were tough around the thing. Nope. Okay, they thought it was Tony Storm and whatever her tag team name is. I don't want to butcher it. They thought that was going to happen. Nope. Because one thing I do give them credit from where it's due, that Tony Storm and her tag team partner put over the Babes of Wrath. Because end of the day, fans love Willow. Fans love Harley Cameron. And that was a fantastic, bold move for AEW to follow suit, because I was hoping at some point, I was literally hoping, with my hand on my heart, no bullshit here, they'll make the right decision. Because end of the day, I saw this tournament, women's tag team tournament, being so different and so unpredictable, and it's living proof. It has been unpredictable. Has it delivered? I didn't see the last couple of weeks, but a lot of people were talking about it, which is a good thing. There is positivity towards AEW. And you look at the way that it's been done. And it's great to see this actually happen and materialize with the Babes of Wrath winning. I knew full well the time when she broke her nose, Harley Cameron, that time, that was the turning point of her career to prove how strong she is. Yes, she's good in the ring because she knows how to get the crowd behind her. But when she broke her nose and continued on that momentum going forward in the match to the point where the match ended, she was pissing blood everywhere. And that was a turning point of her career. Now, let's just say with this women's tag team titles, I don't mind if they have a short run or a long run just to christen those titles to come into play. But when you've got to think logically, this is a really good marketing ploy. Because at least one thing you can actually say when you look at the Babes of Wrath, they literally are treated like a tag team. Because they're pretty much using the same colour scheme with both attires. So they're sort of matching, which I do like. When I look at the Babes of Wrath, I did like them as a tag team. I'm not saying it was polished, but it was good for what they actually had to offer. They had unique moves and so on. That's what makes a great tag team. And that's what I like about the women's division in AEW. That you could easily throw you could throw any tag team of these two women now, from outside the company to open the door like a revolving door, like Ring of Honor once was, and give them an opportunity at the titles, or have the current Sisters of Wrath, Sisters of Sin, or the likes of, Ty Mello and Anna Jay as the tag team champions. These were the outsiders, I would say, of this tournament, and they run rife in this company. I'm hoping they're on the UK tour next week to defend those titles, even if it's on Collision or Dynamite, because we're getting a double taping, or is it going to be a back-to-back episode? That's what I like. That's what I've really liked what EW had to offer for this tournament, and I'm all for it. Tell me your thoughts down below. But I just want to say this is just a upload to update you on my life and so on. But remember, head over to Gavai Knott's YouTube channel in the link tree down below. Click subscribe to there as well, and then you'll actually see my vlog when I've released it to you all, including Paddy's channel, Wrestling Nerds. He will be doing his vlog. I'm hoping he has it up over the weekend next week. But until next time, guys, catch you guys later.